Okay, so I recently created a sheath from scratch for this flesher for tanning hides. And again, I bought this online. It's about 75 bucks at the time, many years ago. And it comes off here, and again, the blade is very sharp, and this is to protect both you and the blades. Make sure the blade doesn't get chipped, and to make sure you don't cut yourself with the blade when it's not in use. I may actually add a lanyard here, so I'm gonna add a lanyard at the hip so it goes around your arm, and I think I'll attach something to where this can just kind of hang freely or wrap around your arm so you don't lose this piece, once you take it off. But maybe for a later video. Right now I'm pretty happy with it. However, this is kind of the primitive version that I've made many years ago. That's using a stone tip as the scraper. It works quite well, actually. This is made of Kia Cook and the side of a log, a tree branch, right? And I've lashed it using buckskin, actually, to hold it together. It works pretty good. So let's figure out a way to do the same thing, but more, I don't know, rustic, more primitive, I guess. And I have some buckskin here. Now don't have like the large sheets anymore. I've got a hide in the garage somewhere. I just don't have any place to tan it at the moment. But anyways, I've got this piece here that looks like it'll work. I just have to kind of shape it and it'll cover it. But the problem is it's kind of thin. Now just to shape it and to wrap it up, that would be a very primitive way to do it to protect the tip here. But trust me, the tip here, the stone tip will cut through this thin buckskin, right? This is a remnant that I have left. So what I do have is I have some rolls of rawhide. Now I could turn these into buckskin. All I gotta do is brain them. So the thing about this section here, I've got a DVD on how to tan buckskin, and this is what it turns out into when you've gotten rid of the flesh on side. There's a little bit of hair remnants here. Got rid of the hair side, and you just have straight rawhide. So if this gets wet, this will become rock hard. Okay, it'll be hard, and so right now I just keep it dry. I got some other projects in mind for this because there's other projects, and this would be a suited project for this, actually. And so that's why I have this. I've actually finally get to use some of this here. I got a project in mind coming up that I may use some of this rawhide. So let me undo it. So here's a piece that got kind of dirty, but it's kind of thick, and I don't need very much, right? So I can use probably about this much once I figure out the square, the rectangle. And this side is pretty tough, and then in the process it's going to get wet, and therefore it's going to get hardened, and it's going to mold to this tool here, the fleshing tool. So I'm going to use this piece, put these pieces aside, and then and again, since it's kind of turned out dirty, I can't remember why or how, but I do remember tanning this hide. It's kind of different, but anyways, or scraping this hide. But anyways, this is the rump area. I want the area that's a rump, that's towards the back of the deer, that's a little rougher. And we're going to use this as the lining, okay? And then the plan is of course, instead of rivets, which we could do something like that, we could make buttons, little small tiny buttons, right? I think I am going to take the time. To lash it up. Why? Because this metal is not as razor sharp as the stone, right? If this was obsidian and I made this tip really, really sharp, then maybe I would worry about that over time. But I think it would be fairly safe because of the type of stone edge I have. I could go ahead and lace the sides, so there will be some lacing involved. And then as far as the button to hold everything in place, this will be we'll figure that out. I have some options that we can play with to make a simple button. So here's more or less our buckskin piece here. Could be a little longer. I'll middle with this, maybe do another one or something like that. But this is basically our buckskin outer sheath. Now I could basically can do this something like that with the rawhide. Maybe even double up on it. But I think I'm just going to do. This is going to be outside, and then I'm going to cut the same sort of piece from the buckskin, and then laminate them together, and then stitch it up from there, and make everything from there. So that's what I think I'm going to do. Alright, so here is a piece of rawhide that we're going to use, and I'll probably, I could use, if this was out in the field or something like that, it would be rough, and I'd probably use pine pitch if I had access to it, or something like that, just to stick the outer part to the lower part and use some sort of cutting tool to make this match. But I'm on the inside. I'll probably use Elmer's glue, which is essentially the same as hide glue, and I have plenty of hide glue, but I'm not going to make any today. I have Elmer's glue, and I'm just going to tack this down to here and then cut it out, and then we can shape it from there. Okay, so I got this tacked down for the most part, and then to let this kind of cure a bit, I'm going to go ahead and I have a stone here. Just going to lay it on top. And that should tack it down while it cures just a bit for a little while, and then we'll go ahead and cut it out. So now we have the pieces laminated, the thin buckskin, and then some rawhide, and we'll fold this. I'm going to wet this down actually, but this is what we will have, and we have enough allowance, on both sides to do some lashing or some stitching. I'd probably just pin them together, to be honest. Alright, so I got our pieces wet so that it's easy to be molded, and kind of shape this around our end, and there we got it. So we got to put some holes in, right? So remember, I talked about the button here that's going to go on top. So I'm going to need 2 holes here approximately, and then we're going to have a lashing, and that's going to be a hole, 2 holes here, and we're just going to use some cordage to wrap this around. So we'll keep it simple, and then we will just do a couple of stitching of lashings here. We'll put some little holes here and just lash on each side, just to keep it really quick and easy and simple, so it slides right up in there. Okay, so here's what we have. We've got 2 holes here, and I used my hole punch. I cheated, just to make this quick little project here. 2 holes to lash on the side, 2 holes on top, 2 holes on the bottom that'll hold our lanyard, and then we're going to affix our button first. So here's a little button up top. That represents the snap, okay, on the cowhide one that we did. And all I did is 2 holes, double overhand knot, then a single overhand knot. Pretty sturdy. It probably won't come undone. Pretty confident, and I can just snip like that. Now I have more string to work with because I already made some cordage out of the buckskin, taking a piece of buckskin and just spirally cutting it around so it turns out to be a string. I did a video on how to do that as well. Not very difficult, but I want a larger piece here because to fasten this, I believe I'm going to have to fasten this because they're unlike this version, there's a heel here where my thumb is, where the strap can latch on so it won't move forward. The way that this is designed, there is no heel, so it could just easily slide out. So it's going to have to be long enough to wrap a couple of times maybe, or wrap around the handle and then loop on top of the button here that we've made. So that's kind of so it won't go anywhere, right? So that's what we're going to have to fasten. I think I'll use these pieces to lash these two pieces together. But right now we're going to be concerned about this the lashings there, which will take bigger and longer strands of cordage or buckskin. Okay, so I think I've figured out how I'm going to lash this, right? So as I mentioned, I'm going to cover the stone tip like so, and then this bottom strip here that's fairly thick, I've split it at the ends here. Buckskin is kind of stretchy, so I've split it at the ends like this, so it's got a split, and those are going to go down here in the two holes there, and then this will wrap around nicely to the button. And buckskin stretches, it has kind of a spring to it if it's done, if it's brain tanned correctly. And so all I have to do then is cut a little slit in here, so there's like a buttonhole that goes through there, and then this should be secure. Okay, so that's in theory. I'm gonna have to fiddle with it. I made this long enough, and again, like I said, buckskin does have some stretch to it, so there is some give, but right now we just want to attach this bottom part here. So I want to fit these through the hole, and they'll fit. Buckskin is workable at a certain stage, and then tie them on this side. So as you can see here, I've got these fit into the holes. Just cinch them in like that, and then I'm just going to tie them. I generally just, like I said, do a double overhand knot, so loop this around twice like you're beginning to tie your shoes, and then cinch this so that it's nice and tight. And if you wet buckskin, I usually just use some saliva or something like that. Then it'll cinch down, and this won't go anywhere. It's nice and secure here. And then to lock it, I just do an overhand knot like so, and then I can cut the ends. So that's how I did the button here. It was just too small to do it because the strands of cordage were thinner. And there's many different ways, different materials I could have used. I want to keep everything, I guess, buckskin. I was going to use some plant fiber cordage, but because I have plenty of that, but I decided to keep it all buckskin. So for now I'm just going to cut these ends here, and then we're going to fit this around and figure out where to put the button slit. Alright, so here we go. A finished piece. It's a little wet because I want the rawhide to wrap and harden. This is the finished piece, and just needed to tie two holes here to fasten everything together. Made a loop inside a buckskin here. If I had used cordage, or another way to do this, fiber, if I had used plant cordage, I could have just used two strands, twisted them until they made a loop, or done the same thing and then tied a knot through the ends on the other side. Would have worked just the same, but I wanted to keep it all buckskin for the most part. And we're using a pig tarsal, or it's the tarsal from the foot, which is basically the finger, the toes here. So there you go, like that. And then again, it'll come undone, which is nice. And when we come undone and we want to unsheath this, unlike the cowhide one, I could take this, because this is the handle at the end. There's actually, I can hang this up or put this around my hand. But when I'm not using this, right, or when I don't need the sheath, I can actually kind of just tie this or wrap this around the lanyard, and I can continue. I won't lose sheath, right? So now I can just scrape and my sheath is hanging here. And that's kind of something that I may have to do as a modification onto the vegetable tan, or the kind of the modern one that I did. So if I take this sheath off and set it down, I could lose it, you know, get broken or something like that. So I'm gonna make it so it ties onto the end or ties onto here, so you can still use it, and then when you're done, snap it back on there, just like this piece. So at any rate, thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for watching, y'all. This kind of stuff I totally dig. You know, it's what happens when you grow up broke, but you grow up with a library and a plethora of things and the natural world to figure out, right? My grandfather was a mathematician and a chemist back in the day, and I got to play with his chemistry set, and I had all kinds of books and encyclopedias to pour through. Plus I spent a lot of time at the library, you know, and you just, you know, you learn to figure stuff out. So just because you don't have doesn't mean you can't do, in my opinion. But anyways, this is the end of it. If you liked the video and you got something out of this, please share it, like it, put a little something in the tip jar. I got Cash App, PayPal below, and I hope this inspired you somehow.